You can have a seat.
Hello, I'm Justin Pratt, the Emergency Manager for the Savannah Chatham County Public Schools. In the event of an on-site emergency, please exit the building through the doors located to your left or right in the back of the room as quickly and safely as possible. For Cabinet and board members, your designated exit is a small door behind me to the right, which leads to the hallway near the restrooms. Please follow the instructions provided by campus police, who will guide everyone to a designated assembly area. If 911 needs to be called, campus police or an assigned individual will handle contacting emergency services. In case we need an AED before EMS arrives, it is located to the left wall next to the exit door. Campus police or a designated person will operate the AED. For minor fires, a fire extinguisher is located to the left in the hallway behind me. Campus police will be responsible for directing any additional emergency responders upon their arrival. Thank you for being here today, and stay safe.
Good morning, and welcome to the special call meeting of the Savannah Chatham County School Board. The purpose of this meeting is to appoint a replacement for our District 2 representative. So we have several of our candidates here, and we just wanted to go over what's going to happen with you guys today. So we will be going in alphabetical order based on last names. You will be able to make a statement, and please go to that microphone. Then you will be asked a question by each of our board members. You will answer 8 different questions. So it won't be one question, it will be 8 different questions. So I'll have that clear. And then at the end, you'll be able to make a statement. We ask you to keep that statement at 1 minute. Your opening statement, you have up to 2 minutes. Okay, are we clear? All right. First of all, thank you so much for applying for this. This is a big duty, and we know that you had to really think about this before you applied, and we appreciate that. So, yes. Yeah, oh, and by the way, each of you will get questions from all of the board members, which each of you will get the same question. Okay, so, all right. Yes, and you will be sequestered in the room back there. So now that we have our final board member here, we can start. No worries. If you're appointed, please be on time. Anyway, but shots fired. Okay. All right, Tamika can take him back, except for Lorraine Bowers. And if you'll hold off for 1 minute, I'll let you know when to start. Hang on.
Up to 2.
Correct.
Yes.
2, 2, 1.
Good morning, Ms. Bowers. You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Lorraine Bowers. It is deeply a pleasure and an honor to stand before you. I believe that the school board is a vital component of the school system. It is a place in which we help change and create policy to help make everything run and work properly. That extension extends beyond just students. It extends to both bus drivers, cafeteria workers. It extends itself to custodial workers as well. How do we impact policy and create changes to ensure that the system of the school runs properly? I hope to be a part of that process. Even though we may not always agree, I do believe we can always come to a consensus about things that matter to everyone in this field. It is my hope and my dream to be instrumental and to be a collaborative member of a team that understands education and policy, that drives and help facilitate us to move progressively in this realm of education. Currently, I understand that we are looking at literacy and how that impacts children, not just children, but everyone in that system. Because to me, literacy impacts children, parents, and everyone in our community. We have a duty, we have a calling. I want to be a part of that process. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. We will start with Dr. Howard Hall.
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
Several parents and community members have contacted you expressing serious concerns about bullying in schools. What role should you play in addressing this issue?
So my first role is to listen to the concern and then to figure out what took place. I would assume to look at school policy, how was it written, did bullying actually take place? My job, I would imagine, is to make sure that I hear my stakeholders or the parents and bring it to my team. Did bullying take place? What systems do we have already in place to address this issue? Was proper channels followed? I believe principals have the first right to ensure that they maintain order within their school. It is not my job to supersede their role. Did the parents follow the chain of command? Was there a proper flow chart that took place? What barriers were there that may have made the parents believe that there was problems they could not solve within the school system? So first, I will listen. I will look at policy. I would make sure that procedures were followed properly. After that, then I would bring it to my team and say, okay, hey, I've seen that within my district or in this space, there are some concerns about bullying. What can we do differently? What can we improve on? And what did we do right? I don't believe that we do everything wrong. So it's for me to give balance, to calm down the parent and let her know that we are working together. And sometimes we may not always get it right, but we don't always get it all wrong either. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. So you referenced some of this in your opening statement, but over the last 3 years, since Dr. Watts has gotten to the district, we have had some substantial changes in literacy objectives, personnel, financial stewardship. And with these changes, I would like to know which one are you most excited about, and are there any that you're concerned about, and why?
Moonshot is what I'm excited about the most. And the reason why is because I do believe that we have to ensure that every student is reading by third grade. And data shows that when we do not ensure that students are reading by third grade, that can lead to long-term failures for that student. So that's what I'm most excited about, to ensure that parents understand that they have to ensure that their babies are reading. And my concern is that some of our parents are not understanding how to implement strategies to ensure that their children are reading. I think that we have to make it a collective tool for them. My goal, I think, would be to say, hey, Mom, Dad, you want to do a reading group together? I want to include you in the process. If reading is a barrier for you as a parent, we offer Thursday night reading groups, a book club. Let's join. Guess what? And if you cannot read, we'll begin reading to you as well, so you can hear it. Parents can come along as well. So for me, I'm excited most about the Moonshot program because I do believe education is fundamentally important. And I think there's a stigma when you cannot read. There are barriers there. So how do we destigmatize that? Let's be transparent. Let's be honest. And say, hey, I struggle. Guess what? We're going to pray with a reading buddy. So that's kind of how I'm excited there. And I also see the barriers that we are facing, because we can't expect parents to be our backbone if they are struggling with that as well. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
Dr. Ringman?
Yep, thank you. Afternoon. What is one thing the district is not doing well, and how would you, as a board member, resolve or help to resolve this issue?
Goodness, not doing well. Well, I believe that improvement could be made upon letting parents being more involved. So I guess that's community engagement to an extent. And so what does that mean? How do you get people who are working 3 or 4 jobs involved with the educational process? What can we do differently? I think we have to go to them. I understand that there are barriers there, ranging from mental health, from transportation, to working. So when I attend school board meetings, when I go to PTA meetings, at certain schools, parents are not involved. I don't know if that's a failure on the school system or just systems in general. But for the sake of this conversation, we're going to say school systems can do more. Maybe we could offer it on the weekends, PTA meetings. Maybe we can offer community night engagements. And if you come, you win a prize. We have spaghetti night. I know we have Parent University, and parents come there. But if you can't come there, can you do a Zoom call? Can you do a phone bank with us? Can you just be involved in your child's education a little bit more, a lot more? And if you are involved, unfortunately and fortunately, here is your prize. Here's your motivating force. Because sometimes parents don't see their children being the motivating force due to, again, work obligations or other obligations. So making it more accessible for them to really be involved. If not that, can I come to your home? Can I meet you where you are? Can I meet you on a Sunday or Saturday to hear and to let you know what's going on? So I think that is one way we can do better, just community engagement, and maybe parents with other parents. So if you can't come, can we send Susie in your spot instead so you can know what's going on? So there you go. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Good
And
morning.
hang on, by the way, Mr. Roney, will you please pull a chair up to that table for her? Yes.
But we need a microphone,
Oh, we need a microphone.
No, yeah,
there.
we're good, she's there.
It's just about her having the option.
Yeah.
the option.
Sir, would you prefer the candidates sit?
We want to give them that option. I don't.
Okay, we're going to have to
That's a
set a
long
mic,
time to stand.
we'll have to set a microphone up.
You okay?
I'm okay, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Okay, for the next one, let's set up a mic.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
I'm
good.
so sorry.
That's okay, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
I'm thankful.
Mr. Ken Slats, everyone. Magic. Pure magic.
Whichever makes you most comfortable.
So the problem there is we don't have a clock.
I will give the time cues. Testing.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Slats. Mr. Smith.
You good?
Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good. As we reflect on our recent board retreat and our emphasis that we put on consistency, do you define, I would like to know, how do you define high-achieving schools?
High achieving schools. So for me, I look at it holistically. I go beyond test scores because test scores to me is your quantitative data. I need to look at the quantitative and qualitative data. The school in of itself is not just students. It is students, it is teachers, it is everyone in that building. How are your teachers doing? Are we retaining them? Are they coming back? So I look at teacher retention for one as well. I do look at test scores, but I also see, are they improving? If you have a student who is in a school who is in the 8th grade and we're on a 3rd grade level, and you've brought that student up to maybe a 5th or 6th grade level, I do see improvement there. High achieving schools is, to me, something that is, okay, test scores, how's your school culture? Are we working together collaboratively? How's discipline within your school? How's your custodial work within your school? How is everyone in the school working together? It is not just dependent upon students. It is dependent upon every person in that building. How are they making the school move better? What is the climate of the school? How are the parents engaging in the school? So a high-achieving school checks all of the boxes. Will everyone get it all right? No. But are we progressively moving towards the goal? What is the goal? The goal is, oh, so sorry. Okay. The goal is making sure that students are achieving. It's also making sure that we have retention. It's also making sure that parents feel heard. All of that is a part of that goal for me. So to me, a high-achieving school is a school that is collectively, collaboratively moving towards progression, both academically, climate, and in culture.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm going to save mine for the last. Mr. Kaczmar.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We each have, as board members, have individual areas of interest or focus, but are also cognizant of the fact that we're one of 9 on this board. Can you give us examples of how you have built consensus within an organization on a particular issue, and then how you have dealt with strongly opposing views and/or conflict within an organization on a particular issue?
Yes. So I am a former Chatham County teacher, and my area of expertise is in special education. In IEP meetings, we do not always agree. However, we do form consensus, meaning I may not agree with this technique or this accommodation, but I can live with it. But before I live with it, I flesh out all possibilities. What about A, B, C, and D? Can we explore? Maybe do X, Y, and Z. So for me, it's about making sure that we've looked at the rules, the policy, the law, and all the outliers. Once we've explored that collectively as a team, I can say, okay, I don't like it per se, but I can live with it. When you're looking at children, so for me, looking at children's rights and what we're doing with these students, there is sometimes a tug of war or pushback. But at the end, I always end with saying, you know what? I've gained a new perspective, I've gained a new understanding, or I concede, and I will grow to understand it in the long run. Understanding that education is not a sprint. It is a longitudinal component. So where I may be short-sighted on one end, I do recognize that collectively as a team, I can gain a different perspective. So I've definitely worked in spaces where I didn't always see the picture in the moment, but I was able to see it later on, if that makes sense. Thank you.
You got 19 seconds to address the conflict question if you.
So the conflict that I also sometimes have seen within schools is maybe as a parent coming in thinking we should have given her student less days. I used to be assistant principal, less days of ISS or OSS. So bridging that gap of perspective of the parent saying, hey, this is an issue. However, we follow policy here on X, Y, and Z. Do you understand where I'm coming from? The parent has sometimes said yes. Thank you for explaining it better. So the conflict sometimes is just giving parents information so they can understand the decisions that was made.
Okay, time. Ms. Hall?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Hall.
What will be the focus of your campaign platform in the November election, should you receive this brief interim appointment today?
Literacy. Literacy and community engagement. I believe that education is truly the North Star within our district, and it all begins with reading. So I want to make sure and be a part of that team and making sure that every student can definitely read. Also, community engagement. We can't do it alone. I have to figure out ways to ensure that parents are heard. So my platform would be, of course, education and making sure all stakeholders, whether it is parents, whether it is businesses, are engaged in the process of education. That would be my North Star.
Ms. Grabowski?
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, Mr. Smith brought up our recent board retreat, and one of the topics that we discussed at our recent board retreat is what should the SEC PSS baseline education experience be for all of our students, and how can we achieve consistency across all of our schools in the district? So my question to you is, if you would, in your mind, what is the experience that every student in SEC PSS should have?
I think every student in this school system should have an experience that is unique to them. And I say that because my experience in education won't be your experience in education. However, their continuity between that should be teachers who are engaging, who are responsive, who are open-minded, a space in which we want to ignite a passion for learning, and a space that is inclusive. However, my perception of such things may be different. So, as a first grader, I have a teacher who's going to be like, hey, these are the colors of today, and I'm going to get it. A 12th grader may see it totally different. But I hope they can always walk away with the sense of someone cared about me, someone saw me, someone inspired me. So as you matriculate through school, I hope that this education for them can be one that I didn't always have good days, but I always had days where I left feeling seen. I left feeling heard. I hope that we can give students education that is top tier, that challenges them, that inspires them, that motivates them, but also one that gives them balance. Every student should feel as though school is always a place, my second home on some level. I can go there and get a hug, but I can also go there and get constructive criticism. I can be challenged, and I can be afforded grace because I'm not going to get it right, because I'm still developing. So I hope that every student can feel that, even if they don't recognize that as a student. So we are all adults here, and we've all had teachers who've challenged us, right? But when we turn 20, 25, and 30, we look back and say, good Lord, I'm happy I had Miss So-and-so. She was hard on me. I didn't like her then. But now I see it. I reap the benefits of her being there in my life. So I hope that happens for our students.
Thank you. Okay, your final question. Some have joked that being a school board member is a full-time, part-time job, okay? It is very time-consuming. You have committee meetings, you have board meetings, you have trainings, we go out of town. How will you balance it in a way that then you have your meetings with your neighborhood association meetings and town hall meetings? How will you balance your time to meet your obligations?
I hope to balance it in a very equitable manner. To me, the school board has to be within you. Education has to be something that inspires you and moves you. So for me, this is my priority. Understanding, recognizing what my priorities are helps me balance. So, of course, family comes first. But then my second would be here. I want to make sure I am implementing and helping children. And so how? Have a schedule, have a calendar, making sure that I have a calendar that says, okay, I cannot make an engagement that I may have already planned because the school board has A, B, C, and D there. So that's how I balance it. I have a support system. I have a mom. So mom, can you watch the kids this weekend because I have to go on this retreat? So having community there. and being creative. I believe that being creative and transparent. I'm sure sometimes we'll have a Zoom call, maybe. Sometimes we won't. Sometimes we'll have a phone call. Sometimes we won't. But I recognize that this is important to me, and I want to be a part of the process. And because of that, I make it a top priority to be here.
Thank you very much. And you can make your final statement from there, or you can walk back up to the microphone.
I do not think I'm going to stay here. Should I stay?
You may sit there, yes.
I thank you for your time. I thank you for listening to me. I believe the school board is instrumental, again, in creating changes within this district. I recognize your passion and your hard work. I've come to many meetings, and I've seen you disagree and agree and challenge and work together collectively. I believe I can be an essential component of this collective team. I think that education is the fundamental right of every single student, and that we, as board members, have a duty and an obligation to make sure we introduce policy and changes to ensure that everyone who's in education is impacted equitably, and that we aspire to truly transform where we are right now. Third graders should be reading. First graders should be reading on some level, and kindergartners. We have to be transformative, and we must be progressive in our hope to change where we are right now with reading. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You may go back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
She can stay out. She can stay out here. if she wants.
One way said they could go here, so they could go out there.
They don't say? Okay. Oh, okay, good. Right. Whatever she said.
The email said both. In one place it said they could stay here, another place it said they'd go back.
I thought it was gonna be, they're going to a different room. We should have a grading.
Sir, it's the will of the board. If the board would like the candidates after they have been interviewed to be allowed to seat in the public, they can certainly, they can certainly do that.
They're not sitting together, though, are they?
They're not going back in the same room.
Oh, a different room.
A different room, right.
Well, and I can't imagine somebody's already gone is gonna say the question.
Okay, just let them sit out here.
Let's go.
Yeah, let her sit out here. Yeah.
Do you understand that that gives them a up if they decide to run in November? Because they will listen to everybody else.
This is being live
They
streamed.
can't stay in.
It's being live streamed.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Just don't think these people don't know what they're doing.
Hold on, wait. What's happening? She's about to come back in here?
Yeah.
She shouldn't because they couldn't sit for hers.
No. You can stay afterwards. She's not answering any more questions. And it's being live streamed. Everyone is going to see
At some
everyone.
point. Wait, are they seeing us talk right now?
No, they're not. No.
That's good, thank you.
The candidates were advised in advance while they were sequestered that they would not have their technology.
I'm
And
sorry?
the candidates were advised in advance that while they were sequestered, they would not have their technology to view the live stream. So they would not gain an unfair advantage by hearing what someone else said. So they do not have their technology while they're sequestered. After they are interviewed, it's somewhat of a moot point.
Right.
Because they're done. So they can sit in the audience as a citizen and view the rest of the interviews.
That's correct.
I feel like it should just,
Yes,
if she wants to,
if she wants to.
if she wants to, but whatever. Ay, ay, ay.
Mr. Coward, you can sit there or you can go to the mic.
Sit here.
That's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we will now hear your opening statement.
Hi, I'm Clinton Howard. As you can tell from viewing my resume, I'm what some would call a lifetime student. I attended school from 1975 to 2010, on and off. My upward battle in life was education. I was denied what some people take for granted. I had to fight for the ability to be instructed, the ability to learn, and the ability to excel. For determination and perseverance, for all the obstacles, I didn't give up. Despite the roadblocks, I managed to graduate in my 20s from high school, even though it seemed like an impossibility given the fact I had to legally fight to attend school. I attended this very school right here, where I went through my early battles at trying to attain an education. After high school, I wanted to prove myself more than anything. I did that in college. College was an uphill battle for me because I felt like I was paying for a mistake that I never made. But I proved that I have the ability to learn, I have the ability to adapt, I have the ability to overcome anything that comes in my way. When I became a substitute teacher for a limited time, I tried to convey this not only to the disabled, but to every child K through 12. A grade is not a determination of your ability or your intelligence. It's simply an obstacle of how well you understood the subject material at that point in time. You must never allow it to define you, because you can always return and absorb the material and successfully understand it later.
Thank you.
Right.
Now, you can stay there or you can go to the, either way. So we will start on this side this time. We'll start with Ms. Grabowski.
Good morning, or afternoon now. Thank you very much for being here and for your application. One of the conversations that we have had as a board at meetings as well as at our recent retreat was what the baseline experience should be for every single student in SCC PSS. Some districts offer different programs. The state funds a minimum standard. So in your experience or in your opinion, what do you consider to be a baseline education, and what is the experience every student should have through their education with SCC PSS?
Knowledge should not be delivered in one specific method, and it should be conveyed to the student that learning can be enjoyable, even fun. That way their mind obtains the necessary knowledge repository to not only survive when they graduate, but to be successful in life. So I think instruction and finding the right teachers who have the natural capability of conveying information should be the priority.
Ms. Hall?
Hello. What will be the focus of your campaign platform in November, should you receive this brief interim appointment today?
I want to present school choice in my platform, and I think we should work with the parents if they choose to instruct at home or online. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You've heard that metaphor. Well, there's more than one way to learn. It can be in the traditional set in a building, online, or through the instruction and guidance of their guardians or parents. So I want people in every state to have a choice when it comes to how their child, teenager, and young adult is instructed. That would be my platform.
Thank you. Mr. Kachmar?
Good afternoon. We are all individuals with individual areas of interest and focus, but we're also cognizant of the fact that we are one of 9 board members. So within that context, give us examples of how you have built consensus within an organization and an example of how you have dealt with strongly opposing views or conflict within an organization.
Whenever I've dealt with conflict resolution in HR, I try to find common ground. It's easy to find your differences and your disagreements. But if you can both, well, all parties can decide on what the main priority and goal is, you can come to a compromise. You need to put your differences aside and look for what each individual in the opposing group is working towards. Once you find that common ground, you can lay out an agreement, a compromise.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Thank you for being here today. I have a question for you, and it is this. As we reflect on our recent board retreat and our emphasis that we placed on consistency, my question is, how do you define a high-achieving school?
One that not only promotes high test scores on all platforms, but one that has the engagement of not only the neighborhoods, but on, well, more than academic achievement, but on ambition, at performing in life and contributing to, making the world better. It's easy to just set everything on test scores, but what really matters is performance in life.
Thank you very much. Dr. Brinkman?
Yep. Good afternoon. What is one thing the district is not doing well, and how would you as a board member help to resolve this issue?
Allocating resources. I think too much time has been spent on being environmentally friendly, especially with transportation. When you enter into that venue, you forget that it's a higher cost for maintenance of, let's say, electric vehicles, when it comes to transportation, and it requires more money for specialized mechanics to work on the EV vehicles when it comes to transporting the children. I think that was a waste of expenses. I think we should concentrate more on teachers' salaries and techniques of how to instruct the students rather than environmental friendly, venues. I'm sorry if that upsets y'all. Yeah.
I appreciate
Campbell.
the
Ms.
honesty
Campbell.
and the candor. By all means, please answer candidly. So ever since Dr. Watts has come to the district 3 years ago, we have had a shift in vision in some ways, like putting more emphasis on literacy objectives or attendance, personnel changes, financial stewardship with our audit. Which of these policies are you the most excited about, and which are you the most concerned about?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm more for literacy, and what concerns me is the lack of attendance. I think we're stuck in a groove where one size fits all, and I think we need to acquire a vision of improving. No two students are exactly alike, especially in the special education department. No two handicapped people or disabled people are exactly alike, and therefore you can't instruct them in the same manner. When you don't do an effective form of instruction, students do not want to attend, whether they're normal or disabled. They look at it as a burden. They look at it as, why should I even try? I'm not going anywhere. You need to show them that they not only can be successful, but they can thrive. So we need to change our teaching techniques. We need to be able to adapt according to each different need of each different student. We need professors and teachers alike to be more open-minded to changing how they deliver their instruction so they can implement not just an adequate knowledge repository, but a knowledge repository that's fun and opens up a whole new world for the student.
Thank you. Dr. Howard Hall?
Good afternoon. I have a scenario for you. Several parents and community members have contacted you expressing serious concerns about bullying in schools. What role should you play in addressing this issue?
First, you should meet the parents in person as well as the children that are involved. And you must take equal measure upon whatever solution. You can't put in positive or negative reinforcement on one party and then ignore the other party. I think if you show that where it's negative or positive reinforcement, if you're equitable to all parties and deliver the same decision to all parties, may know that whether they're the aggressor or the victim, they'll both suffer the consequences. And you need to drive home to the point of the parents, it's their job to instruct their child how to behave in the outward setting if they're alone in society.
Thank you.
So, being a board member has been affectionately called a full-time, part-time job. We have several board meetings, we have committee meetings, we have trainings, we go out of town. You have your own neighborhood meetings, town hall meetings. How will you balance that? How will you set aside the time to do all of that?
Education has been my full-time job for more than 30 years, if you look at my resume. I have no wife, no children. I have been focused completely on showing the world how I can succeed academically. It's become an obsession of mine. I am fully aware that maybe if I hadn't reached the obstacles that I did in 1975, right here at this very building, I probably wouldn't have become obsessed with proving myself. I already live education, day in and day out. So this would simply be an official capacity for me rather than a casual lifestyle.
Thank you very much. And that is your last question. You may now make your closing statement.
I have a lot of goals in life, but one of my goals, more than anything, was proving to the world that I'm not only human, but I have the same potential as everyone else. And it all started right here at Eli Whitney, back when it was an elementary school. I had to prove to the parents and the 1975 board itself that I did have the ability to learn, and I wanted to learn, and I had just as much rights as any other child. It was a long, hard fight. But I like to think that I not only proved myself, but I shocked all those who doubted my capability. And I want to implement that same determination not only to every child, K through 12, but to every parent and every teacher. You can do anything, and nothing is impossible.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coward.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're still. At this time, you may go. If you can sit here, or
I'll just sit back there.
okay.
All right.
Hang on one second.
But I'm not getting up again. I was on vacation last week. Guess what happens?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Tyler Green, and I am an aspiring board member to fill the vacancy. I'm born and raised in Savannah. I have been a graduate of this district. I graduated in 2018, a graduate of Saul C. Johnson High School. I've attended Thunderbolt Elementary School, Schulman Elementary School, Hubert Middle School, and I just want to make a difference in my community and show that I can be the change I want to be. So, that's just a little opener for me.
That's great. That's great. All right. We'll get right into questions. Dr. Howard Hall.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a scenario for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Several parents and community members have contacted you expressing serious concerns about bullying in schools. What role should you play in addressing this issue?
First, I would definitely speak with my colleagues as well, but also I would go to see what the policy would be first, then speak with the principal, then speak with the parents as well, like be a liaison between the two to get an understanding of it and try to resolve the situation as best as I can to make sure every voice is heard as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Campbell.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Since Dr. Watts has been here, we have had some positive shifts, some substantial shifts in, say, literacy objectives, financial stewardship, personnel. What is which policy that we've implemented or goal that we've set do you find the most attractive? And are there any that you're concerned about or that you would change?
So in a sense to the guiding principles, I believe there are 7. I like the first 2 for sure, and that is that the board is the governing body for the Department of for the Board of Education. They see the day-to-day operations. They see, just give me a few minutes, the policies. They also see the autonomy of everything going on. So that would be one of my attractive traits for it. One that I say that I would work on is just overall communication, maybe, in a sense. That's about it. Thank you.
Dr. Brinkman.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What is one thing the district is not doing well, and how would you as a board member help to resolve this issue?
Just working on transportation in general. So I know they have the C-type buses that do not require CDLs that we have been looking at as a board. I know you guys have, and looking at the strategic plan to see what KPIs you have that can be better served for the district.
Okay. Mr. Smith.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Tyler. My question is this: as we reflect on our recent board retreat and our emphasis that we've placed on consistency, my question is, how do you define a high-achieving school?
A high-achieving school, I would say, would be, first of all, attendance, the morale, and as well as attendance, morale, and the overall environment of the school. So students getting there on time, the relationships between students and teachers, also the relationships between the administration and the board as well, and making sure that everything is cohesive and learning is wanted and everyone wants to learn and have a good environment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Kachmar.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We all have individual areas of interest or focus, but we also are cognizant of the fact that we're one of 9 board members. Can you give us one example of how you have built consensus within an organization, and then also one example of how you have dealt with strongly opposing views or conflict within an organization?
Yes, so I believe you have to agree to disagree. You're not going to always agree, but the main thing is to come to a consensus and for the betterment of your district and for the board in general. Also, with my experiences, I've always been in leadership, especially during my school years. I was the class president. I was the president of many organizations, but building a consensus is something I feel very strong about. Being able to talk to anyone and talking with respect and knowing how to get a good consensus, just knowing that you can agree to disagree. That's about it. Okay.
Ms. Hall.
What will be the focus of your campaign platform in November, should you receive this brief interim appointment today?
that every child deserves a champion, an adult that will never give up on them and understands the value and importance of connections, a quality education, and resiliency.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Grabowski?
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Smith referenced earlier our recent board retreat, and one of the topics we discussed there was what the baseline experience should be for every student in SEC PSS. So my question to you would be, what do you consider the baseline for education and what the experience should be for every student in our district?
The baseline, I believe, should be the 4 common areas of education, the social studies, English, science, also your CTAE programs as well, a pathway, because I was a product of a pathway as well. And overall, the credit hours, so I think there's about 24 credit hours now. Keep it consistent with that. And
So, being a school board member has been called a full-time, part-time job. We have board meetings, we have committee meetings, we have constituency meetings, we have town hall meetings, we travel for training. How will you balance that with your life?
oh, that's easy. I love it. I already kind of do it. I watch you guys' board meetings all the time. I scan through board docs all the time. I watch the retreat as well, so I kind of like it. And I think District 2 was on the board accountability chairperson, so I've been watching those meetings as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we give you an opportunity to make your final statement.
Well, overall, I just thank you guys for your consideration and hope to work with you guys soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. For your opening statement, Ms. Grimes, you may sit there or you may walk to the mic, either way.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I want to start by saying thank you for this opportunity to actually go through the interview process for a District 2 board. This is an amazing opportunity. I am, first of all, a product of the public school system. Not here in Savannah. I am from Americus, Georgia, so about 4 hours down the street. I call it President Carter country. And I am a product of the public school system. My children graduated from my alma mater. They, too, are products of the public school system. And my grandchildren are in public school right here in Savannah. We have lived in this community now for 11 years. We came over as a result of my husband receiving an offer at the technical college here to work. And we fell in love with Savannah. And when I fall in love with something, I give it everything that I've got. I am a registered nurse of 30 years. I am also a prior educator in the Sumter County school system. And the reason I entered education at that time is because I came to a point in my career where I looked around and I said, what is the future of healthcare going to look like? Who is going to take care of me when I become a patient in that bed or I'm an elder in a nursing home? And I wanted to be a part of shaping that future. And so I went into the school system there as a healthcare science instructor. I served there for school years, 3 school terms. And while I was there, I had an opportunity to touch the lives of 10th through 12th graders. And when I tell you, I went in thinking that I was going to have an effect on them, but they had an effect on me. I recognized that we have young people who are passionate about their future as well. It's not just the adults who are saying, hey, are they going to be, ready for the future, but they are passionate as well. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Grabowski.
Good afternoon. I'm not sure he mentioned, we're each going to have a question for you.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. At our recent board retreat, one of the things that we discussed is what the baseline experience for a student should be in our district, regardless of what school you may attend. So my question for you is, what do you consider a baseline education, and what would the experience look like for every student in SEC PSS in your vision?
Yes, well, one of the baselines for me would be that our educators are prepared to deal with each student. I believe in differentiation in the classroom, and so making sure that our educators are ready to deal with whatever student, because we don't get to choose the students that come to us. We have to be prepared to meet the needs of each student. That can take on the making sure that they have access to professional training, making sure that they have time to plan with each other, that they have time to collaborate with their other colleagues, to ensure that they are providing standard-based learning in each classroom, and that they are all following the guidelines that have been put forth. And I think that will give us the baseline that we're looking for.
Ms. Hall?
Good afternoon. What will be the focus of your campaign platform in November, should you receive the interim appointment today?
Absolutely. First of all, I believe in fair and equitable opportunity across the district. We have a few of the with Jenkins and different schools that are in our district, we're in low poverty areas. I want to make sure that we address equitable resources being allocated to each one of the schools. I also want to make sure that our expectations of our students are clear so that they know what success looks like. I would love to be able to see our students participate in what that looks like, that they're able to advocate for themselves as well. I want to also begin to look at some of the priorities. The priorities that are listed on your website are ones that we as a board must ensure that we're continuing to follow. Things like early education, starting with our 4-year-olds. That might look like collaborating with other preschools within our community to make sure that the 4-year-olds are going to be ready for kindergarten. That may look like ensuring that we are opening the doors as a board to early education. That access to early, getting that literacy foundation in place is what I think will solidify our students, our students being able to move forward successfully. You all have already started the platform of literacy. I am participating in the moonshot. To me, it is not something that's pie in the sky. It is absolutely necessary to involve our community, our businesses, our for-profits, our non-for-profits, getting them involved, especially in early intervention for our community.
Thank you. Mr. Kachmar?
Good afternoon. We are all individuals with individual areas of interest and focus, but we also are cognizant of the fact that we're one of 9 board members. Mm-hmm. Can you give us one example of how you have built consensus within an organization on a particular issue, and then how you have dealt with strongly opposing views and or conflict on a particular issue within an organization?
Absolutely. As you saw in my application, I actually served on Susie King Taylor's governing board for a while. And when I came on board at the end of 22 into 23, our students were performing at that time at about 35% on the milestones test. We were on a needs improvement list, and we began to look at how do we move them from where they are to where they need to be. We recognized that we needed a new school director. We recognized that we need to ensure that all of our educators were prepared to deliver standard-based classroom learning and grading, and we began to implement those things. The disagreement came as to whether or not to maintain the director that we had in place. And when that happened, there were some very strong personalities that were on our board. And I was one of those that felt that we needed a new director. And so I had to present my evidence showing why, what are the things. And the way we did that is we actually had a staff faculty survey that went out. We had a parent survey that went out, and we also had a student survey. We began to look at what they had to say about the situation, and it helped us to form our decision making. I think the thing for me at that time was to maintain an understanding that there had to be a change, and to do it in a way that I presented the data, presented the facts, reminded each person of what we were seeing and how we could move forward. And you just get a chance to listen to other people's viewpoints as well. And as long as you are supported by data, that you are giving the information that's needed, and also have a plan of action that you can put in place.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Thank you for being here. My question is, as we reflect on our recent board retreat and we reflect upon the emphasis that we placed on consistency, how do you define a high-achieving school?
Okay, first of all, one of the things I look for as well is that consistency. Small steps, I always say, make big change. Small steps, making sure that our principals, assistant principals are all in alignment, and that they are following the guidelines that have been set and established by our superintendent. And as you begin to look at those things, we can then set the standard for what is success. What does it look like? Make sure that we're supporting our pastors. Lord help me. I am a minister
Amen.
as well. I am a minister as well. But making sure that we are sharing that standard, making sure that we're checking along the way so that they feel supported, that they understand what success looks like, and listening. I'm a firm believer in doing surveys so we can kind of test the water to see how things are going. One of the things I've heard, I think it was a couple of school board meetings ago, is that if something is working, we want to continue it. We don't have to wait until the end of a school year or a new budget season to begin to talk about those things. So if something is working at that school, if there's success going on, we want to reward that by helping it continue. The consistency shows up when educators know that they're supported. You get consistency then. And not moving the goal line for our students, letting them know what success looks like so that they are consistently moving in the right direction as well.
Thank you. Dr. Brinkman?
Afternoon. What is one thing the district is not doing well, and how would you as a board member help to resolve this issue?
Wow, that's a big question. One of the things that I'd like to see, and you all are actually working on it now, is getting the community involved in our schools. I was a part of the outreach committee with Susie King Taylor. We need to have all of the local universities taking part in our school system. We need, as I said, businesses being focused on what type of environment and culture we're setting for our students, because not all students are going to go to university, but we want them to be work ready. And the way they're work ready is that we're inviting our businesses in to let them know these are the skills that we want you to have when you come on board with our particular company. We need to begin to involve people who are doing the work in our community. Like I said, I am a community leader. I work specifically with single moms who are living in hotels, and our ministry helps to pay for motel stays, but we have buses that pick up at motels. So how are we moving forward so that our students are supported, not just in our buildings, but when they go home? And the way you do that is by involving those organizations and those community leaders who are doing the work. And so Moonshot, to me, is what what we're beginning to do right here at the board, because I sat in that room that morning and it was full of people who are eager to work with and for our school system. One of the things that I'm a part of the Family Support Committee. And the particular breakdown is I've joined the Barriers and Solutions Committee, because what are those barriers that are keeping the community out and out of our schools, and how do we then bring them in a productive way?
Ms. Campbell?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
So since Dr. Watts came on board 3 years ago, we've made some great and substantive redirections, I guess is a good way to say it. Some shifts in literacy objectives and some focus on, financial stewardship, et cetera. Which of these, maybe some that I listed or some that you know of, which do you find the most positive, and any that you're concerned about or that you would change?
Well, I had an opportunity to hear some of your retreat, and one of the things that I loved is how the budget is being put together this year, that each department is getting that opportunity to speak into the budget making process, and that they presented it. We're starting here. We're not going to present it with numbers, but with the ideas. And so I think that is a great way, because then before we are turned off by numbers, we can begin to see what impact it is that could possibly come out of those things. And so I was really impressed with the way that the budget is being done this year. And the literacy program, the science of reading, that's another great initiative that has come since Dr. Watts has come on board. And so knowing that each teacher then has gone through training on how to actually present the program. And to be honest, it's being packaged as a new program, but it's the way I learned how to read, It's the way that I learned, sounding out words, getting the phonics down. So it's not new, but to have teachers educated on that is amazing. Also, the fact that they're being trained on recognizing learning disabilities such as dyslexia. I myself have a learning disability. It's really not a disability, but I have ADHD. And for years, I went undiagnosed until I was an adult. But if we have educators who are in place that can recognize these things and begin to bring them to the attention of parents and also to school leadership, then we'll see students who are better prepared to learn on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. Dr. Howard Hall?
Thank you and good afternoon. I have a scenario for you. Several parents and community members have contacted you expressing serious concerns about bullying in schools. What role should you play in addressing this issue?
Oh, wow, that's good. One of the first things is we need to educate our community on what the role of the board is. It's governance, it's making policy, it's setting budgets, it's making sure that the superintendent is held accountable. It is not that day-to-day operation. And so what we need to do is to redirect them. First, I would ask, have you spoken to your child's teacher? Have you already started at that level? And if they say, yes, I've talked to the teacher and nothing has changed, my thing then is, what is the next person in your building? Have you spoken to the assistant principal? Who's in charge of discipline? Do you know those roles? And ultimately, I would lead them to where they could make, if they said they've done all of those things, I'd lead them to our website where they could then go and escalate that, either through a grievance policy of some sort. But I would, let them know I am extremely interested in what you have to say. I want to be of assistance, and right now the best assistance I can give is to get you to the right person who can have a direct effect on that issue.
Thank you. So finally, so being a board member has been called a full-time, part-time job.
Yes.
We meet a lot. There are board meetings, there are committee meetings, there are town hall meetings, there are meetings with your constituents, there are trainings, sometimes the trainings are out of town. How will you balance this with your life?
Yes. Well, a lot of that was required of me when I was a part of Susie King Taylor's board, so I have a little bit of experience with making those adjustments. I am actually moving into a new position as a health coach, and I've already talked in advance about the flexibility that would be needed, and so I'm prepared to make sure that I am available for those times that meetings already are regularly scheduled, and also have the flexibility to meet any additional things that may come up along the way. It is, to me, I think, making sure that the decisions that move resources within our school system are of top priority to me, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you. So now you are able to make your final statement. You have 1 minute.
Yes, as I was saying at the beginning, one of the reasons I came out of the hospital for those 3 school terms was to see if I could be a part of shaping the future of healthcare. During that time, just in those 3 school terms, I have had 20 registered nurses come out of the program, 2 physicians, 1 physical therapist, and 1 health informations technologist. And those are the students that I know about. Those are the ones who called me to say what they were doing and how they were moving forward in life. I am so excited I was so excited to be a part of the classroom. Now I see an opportunity to do that on a grander scale to make sure that our students are ready to meet their future. And so I believe that I can do that as a part of this school board.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You may have a seat. All right, we are going to take a break for lunch for 20 minutes. Let's go.
So,
I did crochet this building. I crocheted that over the break. Just practice.
Mics are hot. Mics are hot.
Pretty cool to the touch.
Definitely, he got food, it feels better.
Hello, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, good afternoon now.
I know, right? I know, right? All right, we're ready for your statement.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for y'all service on the Savannah Chatham County School Board, and also thank you for lunch. I'm a native Savannian, military family, so we raised up on giving service, helping our fellow man, brothers and sisters. Strong component on discipline. However, I also believe uplifting people and encourage them and giving people second chances. I have done a lot of work in the community throughout the years, public service. I've been in all the districts in some form or manner in law enforcement, mental health. As you can tell, I have a background, a bunch of different things. And when you be in the military family and in sales management, you talk to all kind of people. So my main thing is this. Each one in our district, when I know it's going for the District 2, but I'm doing the whole Savannah because the youth, our youth from all over. It's not just one district problem. All our districts facing students using drugs, especially the vape. That's very harsh. The gangs, peer pressure, and just, I'm gonna say bullying, but it's on the, because you're doing well in school and I'm not, I'm gonna get at you. We got to stop that mentality among the students. So the best way to do that is we got to be positive, encourage, and use all the stakeholders that we have. All the stakeholders that we have. So the main thing is, I'm here to serve. I'm always going to serve because God has a purpose for each and every one of us. And I know what my purpose is, and that's to give back. Thank you.
Very much. Ms. Grabowski?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Not sure if Mr. Moss mentioned, we each have a question that we're going to ask of you. And so mine is, as we recently had a board retreat, and one of the points we discussed was ensuring that we have a baseline experience for all of our students at every single school, that there is a common expectation among the schools for every student. And so my question to you would be, what do you consider a baseline education, and what should the experience for every student in SCC PSS look like?
Well, I feel everybody should have an equal opportunity and fair chance. So all our schools should be equipped to teach our students to know no matter what their backgrounds may be. With that being said, they also need outside resources to come and help them along to handle some of their personal family problems, social problems, economic problems that some of them come from, especially when some don't even have food on the table to eat. Is this timer still? Okay, well, anyway.
Not working.
Oh, it's not working? Okay, I'm okay. I just want to make sure.
It's working now.
Okay. It's very important
Sorry.
that we all on the same wavelength. Everybody, each district and each schools are working together for the common cause to help produce positive and productive citizens out of our youth, because our youth are our future. Thank you. Thank you for this question.
Ms. Hall?
Good afternoon. What will be the focus of your campaign platform in November should you receive this interim appointment today?
Well, my main point is bringing everybody together. I know it's District 2. So in District 2, I will get the schools, get the alumni of the schools. Each school has alumni. So they all got skills and expertise they can bring to District 2 community. Have a thing out in the different neighborhoods in the District 2 and bring people together to show the ones that there's a lot of tracks in school. Everybody track will not be the same. When I was coming up in school, you had a couple of tracks. Military, you go to a trade school to college. And we still got to bring that today. No matter what track you choose, we want to make productive and positive citizens of our youth. And my platform is bringing the people together, bringing the students together to show other different ways on handling things, different way of life. Because someone faced a lot of disparities. That gang life is for real. The mentality of belittling somebody or disrespecting someone who got disabilities, can't go for none of that. We all here together. We got to live together. Thank you, Ms. Connie.
Mr. Katchmeyer?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are all individuals with individual areas of interest and focus, but we also understand that we are one of 9 board members in this organization. Can you give us one example of how you have built consensus within an organization, and then one example of how you have dealt with strongly opposing views or conflict within an organization?
That's great. When I was an officer, I was working in the public housing area, and at the particular time, we had a big problem on people coming into the area tagging the buildings. So graffiti, big time. And being located down in the downtown area, that's an eyesore for the community and for the city of Savannah. So I got the residents, I went to a couple of business holders in the area, the paint company and so forth. We came together, got all the equipment and the residents and the youth, and we went out and we cleaned all the graffiti off the walls. That brought like a bondness. First of all, it brought people together that normally wouldn't even talk to each other. And that was real good at that particular time. Another thing was a need at one of the nursing homes. And the nursing home had a particular need. So I went out, talked to people from different walks of life, and we all came together, got the resources together, and made those seniors happy, brought what they needed to them and made them happy. Now, for difficult situations, I don't have time to be wasting my time on negativity. I always think on the positive. And one of my mottos is this: change the way you look at things. Because life is too short. We got a mission, and what our mission is to help our youth out in the city of Savannah. And that's going to help all the districts. And since it's District 2, we're going to help District 2 big time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Thank you for being here. As we reflect on our recent board retreat and our emphasis placed on consistency, my question is, how do you define a high-achieving school?
Well, that first part, that consistency is very important. And a high-achieving school, with my background as a school resource officer, the students are very important and want to see that teacher, any administrator comes daily to the school and work with them. Because they always had setbacks in their lives. Somebody don't show up. They say they're going to do something and don't do it. But showing that consistency at each school, you coming over to that school, supporting them constantly, uplifting the teachers, faculty, administrator and staff, not just during the school, go to some of the events in the community also as well to show that we all work together. And you're just going to not see me at school. I'm coming in your community, and I'm going to be a part of your lives. So consistency is very important, and all the schools got to have that. So we can show that we care about our students in Chatham County. Thank you for the question.
Dr. Brinkman? Afternoon. What is one thing the district is not doing well, and how would you as a board member help to resolve this issue?
Not doing well. Well, I don't exactly say not doing well, just probably didn't have time to really address it because you'd be so busy. Go more into the schools, and I'm also going to say the alternative schools. I work in the alternative school sessions for the state. I get a lot of the high school students, when they done got kicked out of regular school, come to my location. It's the last chance, last hope. But like I said, we got to continue to uplift them. And with y'all presence from here and there, and go in everybody's community, go in everybody's district. I might be District 2, but you're going to see me in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to see me in all the districts that come out. Just having my face, because you don't know who they can connect with. They might connect with me, and I can help you out in your district through some information I gained from that particular parent, student, or business owner. So that's one of the things. So I say is, just I'm gonna say, y'all just didn't have really time to get around to everything. I won't say not doing bad, because you're doing the service right now. That takes courage to be right here on the panel and to deal with the public on a constant basis. So hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Ms. Campbell?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good.
So with Dr. Watts's leadership over the last 3 years, we've, change of leadership, you get a little change of maybe objectives and positions on things, and we've focused a lot now on literacy objectives, better financial stewardship, let's see, some personnel changes. Any policies or shifts in focus that you particularly like, or any that you're concerned about, and why?
Yes. Well, I give Dr. Watts some credit because she had been coming to some of the local meetings from different organizations. I had done attend and seen her in action. I'm a big component on literacy, very big on that literacy. And we got to have more discipline and support, toughen our juvenile laws in the city, period. The other thing is, make sure I want to make sure I get this one. Being accessible to the people. A couple of meetings she was at, and I was just out in the audience, and people came and said, I ain't calling names, but they'll just say, man, she's coming out, making herself available to the public. And some say, well, we didn't have too much of that in the past, but that's their own opinion. So just being available to the public, and that's the main thing, being available to show some transparency. And that's the one thing we need too, transparency is very important. And so we can all come together and we can work out our little shortcomings among ourselves. But when we face the community, the public, and the youth, we got to be one team. We have to be one team. Hopefully, I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Dr. Howard Hall?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a scenario for you. Several parents and community members have contacted you expressing that they have serious concerns about bullying in schools. What role should you play in addressing this issue?
Thank you for the question. First of all, I'll go to the school, and if I can see the students' records by chance. Now, I'm in law enforcement, so I can see, but just say I wasn't. And if I can see I can see where their location at and their affiliations. I like to bring them in with the parent, talk to them about the importance on how they affect people, their whole community, because everybody, maybe one time or another, been bullying in their lives. Because the first thing you got to tell the bully, you're not the baddest thing in town. And there's always somebody bigger and meaner and badder than you. So once you get to that concept, that the other concept is you're not going to get away with this one. We're going to come, we're going to address the bully situation. And then one of the things we can also do, we can maybe set up a little after-school program or something we can do, and we can just have a community-wide, district. I'm just sticking to my district. District-wide, where we can just sit down and get different stakeholders, and we can just talk about that. Don't bring the people in together. Just come in and talk about certain things, to how that affects somebody. And one thing I do know about students who like to bully, they don't like nobody messing with their family. They can dish it out, but most of them can't take it when they're coming back at them. Thank you.
Thank you.
So being a school board member has been called having a full-time, part-time job. We have board meetings, we have committee meetings, We have training. Sometimes we go out of town for those trainings. We have town hall meetings. You have meetings with your constituency. So tell us how you balance that with your own, with your job, with your family, and all of that.
Well, that's let me put it to you like this. When I love what I do, I don't see it as work. And helping our students and youth in those meetings you talk about, as being in law enforcement in another capacity, well, I had to keep myself busy, and I get bored easy. So what I did, I got involved in other organizations that help balance my mind, so I don't have since you said the board, that board, we got too many meetings at the board. I don't want to get paranoid. I don't feel like going to the board meeting that day. Oh, no. It wouldn't affect me because we are here, all of us got a purpose, and our purpose is to help our students in Chatham County. So attending the meeting, that wouldn't bother me none. I just adjust my schedule and keep moving.
Thank you very much. Now you have one minute for your closing statement.
Well, my closing statement is I'd like to thank everybody for your time and consideration. However, I love Savannah, and when we lived in different countries, every time we came back to America, we came like 3 different tours back to the U.S. and go back overseas. I love my hometown, Savannah, Georgia. And I'm talking about the whole city of Savannah. So it's not just one district, because we have an effect. During my life, the jobs I have in the community organization I've been a part of, and at my age now, I have the youth coming back to me, which now some of them are in their 40s, and say, Mr. Jackson, thank you for talking to me, giving me that tough love. They tell me they got kids, they raising a family, and I loved it. I say, keep on doing what you're doing. And guess what? They are your cheerleaders. I said, what you want to make me happy? What I put into you, you put into other people. Share your wealth, share your knowledge, your love, and your compassion, and show them that have a quality of life. We got to believe in the man upstairs and treat everybody with respect and dignity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You are finished.
Okay, thank you.
Done. All right, thank you very much. Well, Mr. Rhodes, you can make your opening statement there, or you can make it up there. It's up to you.
I'll probably stand up.
That's fine.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Todd Anthony Rhodes, Jr. I was born and raised in Savannah. I'm also a product of the Savannah Chatham County Public School System. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a father of 10 children. My wife and I, we have 10, 8 boys and 2 girls, which 5 already graduated from a Savannah Chatham County Public School, which I also have 5 more. 1 graduated in May from Jenkins, so I'll be down to 4. So anyway, I graduated from Beach High School. I attained my bachelor's degree from Liberty University, and I'm just thrilled and honored to be before you today to help support for all of our youth and all of our children in Savannah, Chatham County.
Thank you very much. Dr. Howard Hall.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a scenario for you. Several parents and community members have contacted you expressing serious concerns about bullying in schools. What role should you play in addressing this issue?
Yes, ma'am, that's a great question. And I'm pretty sure that happens and that goes on. But what I would do, I would send an email I would ask that parent or whoever, it's the parent, correct, that's dealing with the issue?
Community members.
Community members. So what I would do, I would have the community members to either email the superintendent and let the superintendent, therefore, deal with the matter. There's a difference between governance and also management, and I wouldn't want to step on those boundaries if that's not my job.
Thank you.
Ms. Campbell?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So under the new leadership of Dr. Watts, we have reestablished some different areas of focus, one of which has been new literacy objectives, making it our North Star, as well as some more transparent and efficient financial stewardship, some personnel changes, anything else that you can think of, or any of those that particularly stand out to you as positive, and then any that you think we should work on or that are concerning to you of where we've placed our focus.
Being on the board, having that experience of being on the board of accountability, I was on that board. I learned a lot from that. I learned how data pushes a lot of things, and that helps out with the budget, and that helps out with the planning. My thing is to be a positive team member, to work with our superintendent in each and every way, and with you all. I understand that we may have differences, and it's okay. Me and my wife, we have differences, and we'll be 19 years this year married. And so I understand differences. But however, we are a team. And when people look, regardless of whatever district you're in, they're going to look at all of us, not just whoever district. And so working together to support the superintendent, also following policy and making sure that all of that things are done in the correct order.
Thank you. Dr. Ringman?
Yep. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What is one thing the district is not doing well, and how would you as a board member help to resolve this issue?
I wouldn't say what they're not doing well. Again, too, it takes teamwork. And the one thing, go back again to find out what's working through data, to find out what's working, and if it's not working, get away from it and go to something else that's working. And that comes with also, too, on returns on investments, making sure that whatever we're seeking for our students, faculty, staff, community, whatever it is that we need, just making sure that we're making the right choices and the right decision, not based off our opinions, but by data, so we can know what's going on.
Mr. Smith?
Thank you for being here. I have a question for you. As we reflect on our recent board retreat and our emphasis placed on consistency, my question to you is, how do you define a high-achieving school?
I define a high-achieving school when you have a culture of students who want to learn, who's eager to learn, yet they have opportunities, choices. Some may just say, hey, I want to go to college. Some may just say, hey, I want to trade. And then some may be undecided. But I feel like it's our job, to be able to help all students, no matter what stage they are, whether they decide to go to college, whether they decide to go to trade school or military, whatever, just making sure that it's fair for all and that we leaving no child left behind, that we put all our students first.
Mr. Kachmar?
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are all individuals with areas of interest and focus, but we're also cognizant of the fact that we're one of 9 board members. Can you give us examples or an example of an instance where you built consensus within an organization, and then one example of where you have or how you have dealt with strongly opposing views or conflict within an organization?
Yes, sir. That's a great question. I'm a president of the Savannah Royal Alliance Youth Organization, founded by me in 2014. And so working with community, working with kids, working with parents, and I'm also a coach at Jenkins High School as well. And so, you're going to have differences. You're going to have different things to come. But however, once you have a board and you have a board and you have policy, you follow that board and that policy, and you make the best decision for that child. You make the best decisions for their success. And that's the main thing. Keeping the main thing, like I said, it doesn't matter about the opinions, but actually looking at the facts by data and seeing what works and what don't work.
Thank you. Ms. Hall?
What will be the focus of your campaign platform in November, since this is a temporary interim appointment today?
That all students achieve. Reading. If a child don't know how to read, I'm so big on reading. If a child don't know how to read, they're never going to reach to the other stuff, the science, the math, and the language arts. Reading is so important, and we have to start young, when they are young. And so reading is something big, because if a child can't read, then they can't understand. And it's sad because by me having a nonprofit, I deal with a lot of teenagers. And I've set an application in front of a teenager before, and I had one teenager, and this kid is actually 17 years old. He put his first and his last name all the way down the line. That hurted me. It hurted me because I looked at that as not successful. How did he keep getting passed over and over again? Not understanding, not knowing. That's a failure. That's failure. And so what I would like to do is just bring some fresh ideas. We all put our heads together, and we follow data. Again, that's important. I learned that on the Board of Accountability, how important that is. So therefore, we know on the returns on investment what to invest in to get them up to speed and what to kick out and move and do away with it.
Thank you. Ms. Grabowski?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Smith mentioned our recent board retreat, and one of the things that we discussed at the board retreat was ensuring that all students across the district, regardless of what school they attend, all have the same baseline experience as a student. So my question to you would be, what do you consider to be that baseline education that every student should have in our district, and describe that experience as a student in SEC PSS regardless of the school you attend?
All students should definitely have a safe environment that they can thrive in. All students should have a access to whatever it is they want to do. Like I said, trade school. If they want to go to college prep. They need programs for them that interest them. Think about it. When you're a child, you want to do something that you're interested in. What child in here, I don't know if you remember, but it was showbiz and Chuck E. Cheese. I wanted to go to showbiz. I wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese because that interests me. And so it's just like one of those things, too, with the kids. Let's see what interests you. College may not be the thing that interests you. Let's see what interests you and give you the opportunity so, therefore, you can grow. And each child, if they're leaving our school system, they should be able to thrive in life no matter where they decide to go. And that's me. That's who you're looking at right now. Somebody who thrived. I graduated from Beach High School in 2004. I was young. I had a lot of children at an early age, but I refused to be a statistic. I was the one, and I had people in my corner that taught me, that was in church in my community, that thrived me, that pushed me. And so that's something that I want to continue to do. A lot of kids know me, a lot of people know me, but a lot of people don't know my story. But the more people I can share my story with is the more people that can give hope to. And I believe me being here will be a blessing to this school system, to the city, and I'll be a helpmate to you all.
Thank you. Your final question. So, being a school board member has been called a full-time, part-time job.
Yes, sir.
We have board meetings, we have committee meetings, we have town hall meetings, we have meetings with our constituents, we have training, we travel for training, we travel for meetings. How will you balance all of that with your life?
Yes, sir. I'm blessed to have a supportive wife, supportive children. Like I said, I have 10 children. My oldest is 25, so I don't have none in elementary no more. And so they can help do some things. I'm also an entrepreneur as well. And so my business could still get handled and I'm not necessarily be there. And even though I do be there when I can because I love what I do. But however, that would not stop me from doing what I need to do unless it's something that's out of my control, which is understandable, family situation, death in the family or something like that, God forbid. But I'll be there.
Thank you. So now you have 1 minute to give your closing statement. Thank you.
Again, I'm grateful and thankful for this opportunity to be able to stand before you all. Again, I learned so much being on the board of accountability. I really learned a lot about data, how important it is, about budget, and also about policy. You know, I'm very a positive person. I understand teamwork. Like I said, I'm a coach, I'm a father, I'm a mentor, I'm a minister. I understand teamwork. You're not going to have somebody that's coming here to fight you. We all a team. So let's work together because we got a lot of work to do. But guess what? We can roll up our sleeves and we can do it. So find it in your hearts. Give me a chance. But regardless of the fact that no matter how things may go, you still have somebody in the community that's rooting for you, that's supporting you, and want to see our system do good because I'm a part of it and my kids are too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Snowden, you can do your opening statement from there, or you can do it from that mic. Either way.
Oh,
There you go. Be comfortable. Be comfortable. Yeah.
hello, everyone. My opening statement would entail saying that I would love to be a part of this board because I have had the pleasure of working in our public school system for 30-plus years. I am really shocked that I miss it so much. I am. I miss it terribly. And it's been a pleasure helping young people prepare for their lives out in the world. And nothing makes me happier than when I see them out in their work world or in their lives and they're saying to me, "Oh, Miss Snowden, you made a difference as my teacher. You helped me to be where I am." And having had that experience, when I got ready to retire, I actually spoke with one of my colleagues about becoming a board member. I retired as an English literature teacher and a reading specialist. Literacy is my love. I want to teach children the love of reading, because if you can read, you can conquer anything. You must be able to read and understand what you've read and write about what you've read. So I want to work with the board to help us continue in that fashion of creating great literary minds.
Thank you. All right, we're going to have a few questions. First of all, Dr. Howard Hall.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a scenario for you.
Okay.
Several parents and community members have contacted you expressing serious concerns about bullying in schools. What role should you play in addressing this issue?
Well, that's a really good scenario because I am able to, and I have done this as a teacher, when parents call me concerned about how their children are being treated in school, one of the things I can promise them is I'm a mother and a grandmother. I am not going to allow anything to happen to your child that I don't want to happen to mine. So in my classroom, I foster, I guess I'm not in a classroom now, I don't need to say that. Y'all forgive me. But I can promise them that we are fostering an atmosphere where we're developing family to help each other. and be positive with each other, that bullying will not be tolerated on any level, and probably let them give me their ideas on what they think should be done to help alleviate the situation, and make sure I do all that I can to make sure that no child is ever bullied.
Finish?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Campbell?
Good afternoon, Ms.
Good
Snowden.
afternoon.
So under the new leadership of Dr. Watts, we have had the opportunity to sort of shift positions on a couple of things, or just emphasize more, like literacy objectives, right, that we have now, and it's become our North Star. Some personnel changes, more transparent financial stewardship. Do any of the policies or new set goals that we've established in the last 3 years really strike you positively? And are there any that you disagree with that you would like to see changed, and why?
There are not any that I disagree with. The one that I love, as I stated, is I see that you are moving toward that North Star of literacy. I retired in 2018, but I did not really just sit home and do nothing. I went into the private school sector for a while as a teacher, and I also returned to our school district for a minute. In fact, I left for real at the beginning of the 24-25 school year. I left for real because I was given the opportunity to return as just a reading teacher, part-time, in a middle school, and work with the children on reading. So I have really focused in on what you all have been doing with literacy. And I guess I have to read up on the other things that you've done, because I really can't tell you, anything that you've done that I don't agree with.
Dr. Bringman?
Good afternoon. So this might be a fun question for you then. What is one thing the district is not doing well, and how would you as a board member help to resolve this issue?
What are you not doing well? I am actually pretty satisfied with what you are doing. I have seen many of the changes as far as personnel are concerned. I honestly cannot think of anything that you're not doing well. But should something come up that I think you're not doing well, I'm not shy about saying we might need to revisit that. So that's all I can say about that.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
Thank you for being here today. My question is this: as we reflect on our recent board retreat, we've placed great emphasis on the word consistency. With that, my question is, how do you define a high-achieving school?
I would define a high-achieving school by students, faculty, all educators, and I think that everyone that's involved in the education of a child, from the librarian, the cafeteria workers, the janitors, we're school bus drivers, we're all educators. And a high-achieving school is a school where children are happy to come, where they are doing what they need to do, where there is not a lot of discipline problems, where they are achieving what they need to achieve as far as scores are concerned. One of the things that I focused on when I was teaching, y'all please forgive me that I keep going back to that, but I did it 30 plus years. So a lot of what I say is going to be, what I did in the classroom. I would focus on making sure my children understood how to read and how to explain what they've read. For instance, I know that because I felt like they had to be productive citizens in the world. They needed to learn how to read. I got in trouble for this once too, but I didn't change it. One of the things that I did was when you came into my classroom, you ain't talk to me, you ain't speak to nobody. You took your seat and you did 15 minutes of sustained silent reading from a novel or a piece of reading information of your choice that was approved by me. That served a twofold purpose. It made the children settle down immediately, number one. It gave me a chance to decompress from whatever happened in the class that I had before, and I wouldn't take it out on the class that was coming in. But the major thing that it did, yeah, I'm petty like that. The major thing that it did was I noticed that when my children took their standardized test, none of my children were afraid of the passages that they had to read. They were accustomed to reading passages.
Time, I'm sorry. Mr. Kachmar.
Good afternoon. We are all individuals with individual areas of interest and focus, but we also recognize that we're each one of 9 board members. Can you give us one example of how you have built consensus within an organization, and then one example of how you have dealt with strongly opposing views and/or conflict within an organization?
Well, one of the ways that I've dealt with, we're going to do the second half first. One of the ways that I've dealt with strongly opposing views is to request that everyone actively listen for understanding and not listen to respond. I think that that's a major issue among board members. We do a lot of listening, but we listen to respond. We don't listen to understand. And when you listen to understand, that will help you to come to a place of consensus. I always try to make sure that we are able to communicate with each other, that we use words that are positive, words that don't hurt each other, and that we are respectful in how we communicate with each other. That's kind of the best I can give you, sir.
Ms. Hall.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What will be the focus of your campaign platform in November, should you receive the interim appointment today?
Oh, should I receive the appointment? I'm going to go with the mission, the vision of our system. It is my desire to make everyone a lifelong learner. I have enjoyed my life because I've not stopped learning. It's just interesting and fulfilling to continue to learn. So probably my focus would be creating positive citizens and doing it through literacy, through helping everybody know how to read, how to understand what they've read. Literacy is so important. I've just been asked to join an association, and one of the thrusts of that association is literacy. I was so happy when I found that out. I mean, I can remember back when I was younger when we had a young lady, Miss Plummer, who used to just hand out dictionaries to students. One of the things I've done in my church is I've created a library in my church of books for pre-K through high school. And whenever I work with children or talk to children, I try and help them to understand the importance of reading and doing things in excellence.
Mr. Valsky.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
As Mr. Smith mentioned earlier, we recently had a board retreat, and one of the discussions that we had at our board retreat was ensuring that we have consistency at our schools and that every child, regardless of what school they attend, they have a baseline experience in SEC PSS. So my question to you is what do you consider the baseline education, and what would the experience look like, the ideal experience for a student in our district look like to you?
I believe the baseline education would include literacy and math, that they would be able to be productive citizens, that they would not feel intimidated by anyone because of their lack of being able to perform in those areas. So I would say the baseline would be literacy and math for every student.
Okay, this is your last question. So being a school board member has been called having a full-time, part-time job. We have board meetings, we have committee meetings, we have town hall meetings, we have meetings to plan meetings, we have out-of-town meetings. How would you balance that with your life?
Well, I am actually excited about the prospect of being a part of all of those meetings. I was raised by mom and dad who raised us to serve. I have, there are 6 siblings, there's 6 of us. And there are 2 policemen, a fireman, a nurse, a minister, and a teacher. We have been reared to serve our community. I think, and I thank you for even for this opportunity to be before you and speak, because I know my mom and dad are smiling down on me because I'm doing what they have raised me to do. So serving is my life. It would be just a part of what I do. My children are grown. My grandchildren are almost grown now. My baby is 16 years old, and he attends our public schools. All of my children attended our public schools. So it would just be a continued part of my life.
Thank you very much. And you now have 1 minute for your closing statement.
Okay. I'd like to again thank you for listening to me. Whether or not I am appointed, I love the Savannah Chatham County Public School District. It's been a major part of my life, all of my life. From my elementary school years, my father served as our PTA president in my elementary school. My grandmother served as the PTA president in my high school years. We just love education, period. And because of this school system, excellence has always been a part of my desire, my vision of what I do. And I would like to impart that ethic into as many more children as possible. So thank you.
Thank you very much. That is all. Thank you.
Do I go home now? I mean, y'all been directing me all day.
Okay, we are going to take a short break.
And we will be back.
We'll be back. Have everyone here? Yes. Well, I will now entertain a motion. Ms. Campbell?
I move to nominate Mary Snowden for the position.
Do I have a second? Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Yes?
I just want to say to all of the candidates, you all clearly have a strong passion for education, for this district, and for seeing us be successful. And regardless of where the appointment goes, there's a place in SCCPSS for everyone who has a heart for education and for students, as you all clearly do. Sorry, I don't know if that was off topic.
No, it's fine.
Mr. Board Chair, but
That's fine.
I think it's, and this is also a short-term, this is a short-term appointment for, what, 6 months until the
Yes,
election
until
in November?
November.
So regardless of how the appointment goes, the seat will be open again in November. And, you know, encourage everyone to continue to find your passion and where you feel you belong in the district.
Dr. Brinkman?
I do not support the motion. I do not believe that this individual was the best candidate in our interview today.
Okay, Mr. Smith?
I was just going to say that I believe that this was an amazing interaction of interviews. All of the candidates pose great qualities for progressing the future of our district, and I'm excited about seeing these votes unravel throughout the entire evening or afternoon.
And let me second the comment from Ms. Kowalski. Thank you so much for applying. At the beginning of the year, the board chair makes appointments for committees. And we have individuals from the community on those committees. I see several people that we can appoint to committees now. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And we heard you. We heard you. Dr. Howard Hall.
Thank you. I'd just like to say to everyone that all of you are very highly qualified candidates, and the opposite word is temporary. The public gets the last say-so. The public gets the last word, because this is just a temporary position. I'm very proud of the responses. You all are very qualified for this position, but at the end of the day, the public will have the opportunity to select the person who they want to represent their district. And thank you for taking the time to come out with us today.
We probably should get all this talking before we receive the motion.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
Yes. Ms. Hall.
I want to concur with my colleagues, and the reason I asked the question I did about your platform is that between now and November, we'll give you ample time to think about what you really want to present to the public, because once that's done, and you'll have a 2-year term to finish out should you succeed in November. So regardless of the outcome of today, keep that in mind, that is going to be the real test of your endeavors. And I wish all of you well.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that the appointment be Ms. Snowden. All in favor? Okay. All opposed? And the appointment goes to Ms. Snowden. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, somebody.
Yes. Moved and seconded. And Ms. Snowden, if you will get with our attorney and he will explain the next steps. Thank all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.